Hi, I'm Clark on Temptress. Today we're going to review some more gear. Lately, everybody and their brother, mostly from China, has been sending me emails saying, hey, will you review my stuff? Mostly I say no. I'm going to do as good of a shot I can on lithium batteries and do a deep dive into the cheaper lithium batteries because we all want to save some money on big ticket items like that. But this company sent me this little multimeter and they were just so insistent. And finally I just said, okay, send me one. If it's crap, I'm going to tell everybody it's crap. Well, let's take a look. So Tesmen sent us these meters. They actually sent us two of them. Made me nervous right up front. Maybe it's like, they figured one would work. Well, you know, they both kind of work. They come in this bag, and it's not the greatest bag. The seams are a little off, but again, 10 bucks. Pick the thing up, pick up the leads. They're not your normal stiff leads. They're actually soft, like there might be a little silicone in them or something. I mean, this is not a fluke. There's no question. You're not going to mistake it. But for a $10 meter, it feels kind of solid. It's in a rubbery plastic case, so it might protect it from a drop. It has a teeny bit of heft to it. And it might have a place. Let's try it out. I'm going to go with this other one I got hooked up already. Let's run it through just some quick tests. I've got some other meters here on the bench. I wish I had my good calibrated fluke, but that's on the boat right now. And we're back at our house taking care of a little business of her Emily. She's got her game conference going on coming up. I've got this. This is my old bench meter. It's an Exitech. It's got lots of resolution. It might be out of calibration because I haven't calibrated it in like forever. But it's another choice. This is the Klein that I've been kind of liking a lot. And honestly, this went back to the boat with me. And I brought it back here for this trip because I knew I had to do something. And it has that clamp-on meter I was going to need to do that with. And then one of these Tesmens. So we'll fire them all up. And I'll put them all in DC voltage mode. They all have their own way of doing that. Tesmen, it's got something I usually don't like. But maybe for this meter, it's okay. It's auto everything. So you just turn it on. You don't get any choice of what mode it's in, and it tries to figure out what mode it should be in. I got my bench power supply here. Probably the cheapest one anyone could buy, so I don't know that I would necessarily count on that being accurate, but it is one of our voltmeters here. Of these, I probably think the Klein is the most accurate for precision, but well, let's just compare them all and see what we find. Okay, I'm going to just hook them all up to the positive and negative power supply from the bench power supply, and I'm going to feed them all variable voltage. And let's see what they all say. This will, of course, be one of those cases where, what's the old proverb? A man with one watch knows what time it is. A man with two watches just knows he doesn't know what time it is. I've turned the power supply all the way down. It is putting out some voltage, but very, very little. According to the bench supply, I just wiggled things, it's 0.017 volts. According to the Klein, this is now in millivolt range, so it's 0.003. That's pretty damn close. The Tesmen says resistance, so he doesn't even know we're trying to do voltage yet, but geez, that's so low it doesn't matter. And I'm going to bring it up a bit. Let's bring it up to, let's say, 6 volts-ish. I have a much better power supply on Temptress, and I just put it in a while ago, and it makes life so much easier. I'm starting to hate the one I've had for years here. Okay, the Exitech says 6.017 volts. The Klein is telling me that I got something wired wrong. Oh yeah, it's disconnected. The Klein is saying 6.04 volts, 6.05 volts. Pretty close. And the Tesmen says 6.07. So pretty close. Let's go up into like useful ranges. This would be kind of like what batteries might be charged at. So let's say something in the low 14s. Okay, 14.2 from here. Exotech says 14.16. The Klein says 14.2. And the Tesmen says 14.27. Still pretty close. Again, I'm seeing the Tesmen just a little high all the time. Let's go way up. If you were a 24 volt system, I guess you'd be up in this range. 29.7. The Exotech 29.68. That's right on. Klein 29.77. And the Tesmen 29.91. Again, just reading a little high. And just take it right to the top. Well, that kind of is the top. It only goes to 30 volts. From a voltage standpoint, the Tesmen is just a little high. It's kind of that 1/10 of a volt high that would matter if you're trying to calibrate your battery chargers. But you probably should just trust your battery chargers more than you trust your multimeter, especially a $10 multimeter. So that probably doesn't really enter into things. It's definitely spot on for the, does this circuit have power? Doesn't it have this circuit have power? Which is 99% of what you do with the little meter on a boat. And it seems to register fine. So if you're trying to do a voltage drop study to find out if there's resistance in the line, it would work fine. So I'm going to say it's not great. I'd rather have a couple $100 fluke. But for $10, yeah, it's perfectly functional. Let's try something else meters need to do. This is a 6 ohm resistor. And let's ask the Tesmen what it is. So, like anytime you use a resistor, you can't touch both sides with your hand because your body has a certain conductiveness. Oops, so I'm going to put this on and bend the wire. And I'll hold this one on. It's saying auto right now, which just says it doesn't know what's going on, open circuit. I touch it on there. Well, that's annoying. Let's see if I can turn that off. Okay. Well, I don't know how to turn that off, so we'll just deal with it. I'm going to hold this on and see what it reads. And it reads no ohms at all. It's not finding this as being a resistor because the resistance is too low for it. What have I got that's higher resistance? I could try a couple of them in series. See what we get here. This would be 12 ohms. Now it's saying, it's coming down to probably 12.01 kilo ohms. So I guess that's going below it now. Well, looks like it's not the greatest ohm meter, but what it is a continuity meter. When you have a wire and you want to know if it's connected or not, it makes the beep, little lights come on. And that's probably more handy for troubleshooting. So, partial credit there. We're not trying to be a bench meter now, are we? We're just trying to solve a problem. I'll plug it into AC here in a minute, and we'll see what it does, for AC functionality. And the last thing it has that I've noticed that I do want to talk about, all these meters have this, but I don't expect it in a $10 meter. Maybe I should nowadays. You push the button here and it lights up, and it lights up goodly bright. I can read it without glasses, and that means a lot too. It also, if you hold it down for a bit, you get a little flashlight on the back. Again, when you get to the glasses age, you can never have too much light when you're in the bilge of a boat. So Oh, would I use one? Well, you know what? I'm going to use it a lot. A lot of times I had somebody says, hey, Clark, can you go over and take a look at something? And I'm not expecting to do a big analysis and everything. It's just, do they have power to that? You know, is it something simple? I'm going to use this because it comes in a case. It's small enough to shove into like cargo short pockets. And most importantly, I don't care about it one little bit. I'll hop in the dinghy on a rainy day with spray, and you know, if it survives, it survives. If it doesn't, well, I got another one. I'm kind of thinking this has a place on a boat. It's better to have a good meter. It's always better to have good tools. Remember, we can't see electricity, so we need meters. But man, for $10, if you weren't going to have a meter otherwise, you might want one of these. I think this is like head and shoulders better than the Harbor Freight meters I've seen. Now, they just feel like crap. They're all open and exposed. This isn't. This kind of feels okay. One thing about them though is the day you get them, they sort of work and then they degrade pretty fast, and I just can't say that about this yet. So what I'll do is I'll mess around with it for a while, and you know, if in 6 months it packs up on me, I'll write the story in the description. So if you're watching this video right away, you know what I know. But if you see this video, you know, after a year or something and you wonder if you should get one, just read the description. It says down there, no, well, don't buy it. But if it says nothing, basically, that means, yeah, it's still working. I'm Clark from Temptress, and hope you liked the short video. Bye.